Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Caroline. Some of you guys might know me from my Instagram, where I've been documenting my weight loss journey starting in January of 2018. So far I have lost 135 pounds with the help of VSG, exercise, and a low-carb keto lifestyle. I am so excited to finally be starting this YouTube channel. I've gotten a lot of messages from people asking me to start a YouTube channel, and I think YouTube is a great way for me to dive into a lot of specific topics that people ask about. Things like loose skin, hair loss that comes with weight loss surgery, just my overall diet, my exercise routine, a lot of things like that, and just my overall experience going through losing 135 pounds. For those of you who don't know, VSG stands for vertical sleeve gastrectomy, and it is one of 3 weight loss surgeries, I believe, that surgeons do currently. The first is a lap band, second is VSG, and third is gastric bypass. VSG is a surgery where the surgeon goes in and actually removes about 80 to 85% of your stomach. And it's a permanent surgery, non-reversible, so it is for life, a for life decision. Not to be taken lightly. They go through a whole vetting process for these surgeries that sometimes last 6 to 8 months. I've heard some people's have lasted a whole year. And I want to make a whole separate video about my pre-op process and everything I had to go through for that. Because that's another question I get asked a lot, is the checklist of things I had to get done before I was approved for surgery. So VSG is removing that portion of your stomach, where gastric bypass is not removing a portion of your stomach, but you're rerouting your intestines to bypass a part of your stomach. So gastric bypass is a little more invasive, but is a better decision for certain people depending on your body, your health issues. Like if you have diabetes, if you already have gastrointestinal issues, a lot of things like that. So they take all of that into consideration before recommending one over the other. I chose VSG because I felt like it was the right decision for me. I know a lot of people who have had gastric bypass done who love it. It was the right decision for them. But, you know, that speak to your doctor, speak to your surgeon, ask a lot of questions if you're even considering this, because you also want it to be successful. Like, you want it to be a successful surgery. They take that very seriously in educating everyone that it's not just a physical change you're going to have to endure, but mentally it's going to be a big change. Like, you have to get approved by a psychiatrist, you know, because you have to change everything about yourself, your diet, your relationship with food. You have to make sure you're physically and mentally strong enough for a surgery like this. I'm checking my notes on my phone. I have a list of questions, so I'm trying to answer all of them. One of the most common questions I'm asked is, am I happy with my decision to have had VSG? To answer simply and 100% honestly, I do not regret my decision at all to get VSG. It was the best decision I have ever made and has changed my life for the better in so many ways. Having said that, getting a life-changing surgery like this is not something to be taken lightly. It's not a decision to be made, you know, really quickly without thinking it through. Your life will change in a lot of different ways. You have to give up certain things. Your relationship with food will change forever. And I don't think that weight loss surgery is for everyone. For me, it was the right decision. I did so much research, guys, before I made this decision. I talked to multiple doctors. I spoke to people that had had the surgery done. I watched tons of YouTube videos of people that had had both VSG and gastric bypass done. And so when I went into the surgeon's office, I was like ready to ask like tons and tons and tons of questions, as you should, because this is a really big deal. You know, you're permanently changing one of your organs in your body. A lot of people also ask why I chose to get VSG, or vertical sleeve gastrectomy. I am a firm believer that weight loss surgery should be a last resort decision, you know, and for me, it truly, truly was. I've struggled with my weight my entire life. My weight has fluctuated so much throughout my life. I mean, there was a point in time when I lost 70 pounds, gained back 100 plus, you know, it's been like a roller coaster. And, that takes a toll on your body, you know, like my joints were hurting. I could barely walk up the stairs, you know. My highest weight was 300 pounds, and that's how much I weighed when I started my journey in January. So I was definitely at the end of my rope. Like, I didn't know what to do. I went to nutritionists, dietitians, I tried Weight Watchers, I tried every crash diet, every like real diet, you know, and I just felt like everything was hopeless. Like, I felt truly hopeless. And I would lose weight, you know, that would totally happen for me, but then I would always gain it back, and it would be almost more devastating. Like, it's very emotionally draining and discouraging to see that weight come back on you over and over again when you've worked so hard to get it off. And once I weighed 300 pounds, I honestly felt like my only option was kind of acceptance. Like, I just had to accept that my life was going to be like that. I'm always going to be the fat girl, the girl that's pretty for a fat girl, the girl that was just the bigger funny friend, you know. And I kind of came to that acceptance, which is so sad. But you have to understand, I had tried so hard for so many years, and at that point I'd kind of given up. I had never even thought of weight loss surgery as an option. I didn't really know much about it or what it was. And one day I was talking to one of my friends who said, hey, have you ever even considered this or looked into it? And I was like, what is that? What is gastric bypass, or what is VSG? And so of course I went home that night and like crazy researched everything and was like, I have to know more about this. So I went to nutritionists, dietitians, surgeons, talked to them to see if I was a good candidate for it. Long story short, I went to multiple doctors, and in conclusion, I was a perfect candidate for VSG, and I'm so happy I did it. That was a really long answer for, are you satisfied and happy with this decision? But no, I do not regret it. I love my new tummy. So, yeah. By the way, I've never done a YouTube video, and it's really weird talking to yourself on camera in a room alone. I don't know. I'm like trying to get used to it, but sorry if I seem weird. Bear with me because I'm still getting into the flow of things. This is so weird. So how does VSG change your day-to-day life? Which is probably the most common question people ask because they want to know, what am I getting myself into? It's such a huge question. When you remove 80 to 85% of your stomach, you obviously eat much smaller portions. So the point of the surgery is to help you with portion control. You know, people that overeat, people that are addicted to food. It's not a cure-all surgery by any means. A lot of people say that weight loss surgery is cheating. It's the easy way out. That is absolutely false. Trust me, because I have gone through it. I have gone through surgery. You know, I worked my ass off to lose all this weight. I've experienced regain. I've experienced losing again. You know, if you don't put the work in, if you don't exercise, if you don't watch what you eat and watch your portions, you can stretch your stomach back out. You can definitely experience regain. A lot of people that have had weight loss surgery not only gain back the weight they've lost, but they've gained even more. Sorry, my dogs are walking around. The amount of weight you'll lose, you know, varies between people depending on how hard you work at it, how much you exercise, how much you wash your portions, what you choose to eat. I gave up bread, pasta, rice for 6-7 months. And that was like the hardest thing I've ever done because, you know, that's my weakness. That's my kryptonite. Are carbs like that, like bread. Ugh, I love pasta. Oh my God. Don't get me going down that road. But that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, which might sound silly to some people, but it's true. I mean, I am for sure a food addict. So that to me was so hard. But I know a lot of people who did not give up any specific foods. They chose to eat anything. And they may not have been as successful in the first 6 months as somebody who gave up all those carb heavy things. So I lost 100 pounds in the first 6 months of surgery. I really worked at it. Everyone's bodies are different though. You know, I know a lot of people that worked so hard in the first 6 months, but they only lost 60 pounds, where someone else lost like 100+ pounds. So everyone's bodies are different, and there are a lot of factors that go into how much you lose. But I will tell you, it is definitely not a cure-all. Your new stomach is a tool that helps you lose weight, but that tool only helps you so much. You know, there comes a time when it doesn't really help you anymore. I've definitely hit that point. Regain is real. I have regained, I've lost it, I've regained again, but when it comes down to it, it's up to you to keep that weight off. But I definitely feel that VSG gave me a second chance at my life. And I could not be more thankful for it. I could not be happier with my decision to do the surgery. So as far as the things you give up, one, try to avoid carbonation after surgery. It can irritate a lot of stomachs and cause pain because your stomach is so small that filling it with air, like the bubbles of soda and things like that, the pressure can be really uncomfortable. Some people are able to handle it, some people aren't, but carbonation is a thing they definitely tell you to avoid after surgery. So I'm able to drink some things, but I usually have to like shake them up and like let them fizz out, or I'll pour them into a cup and kind of wait until they get flat, you know, something like that. Because I don't want to, one, cause that uncomfortability. I also don't want to stretch out my stomach, because you want to keep your stomach as small and as tight as possible. Because the smaller your stomach is, you know, the more portion control you have. They tell you to avoid carbonation altogether to keep that stomach tight. Other ways your life changes, you have to take vitamins for the rest of your life. You have to take certain vitamins to make sure you're getting all your, to make sure, oh my God, I can't talk. Okay, to make sure you're getting all your nutrients in and your body isn't deficient in certain things. So you have to remember to take your vitamins, especially for gastric bypass patients, but VSG patients also, it's for life. I would definitely say one of the biggest ways VSG changed my life was it made me realize the difference between head hunger and stomach hunger, because you realize very quickly that a lot of the time you would eat, it was because you were craving the food. It wasn't because you were necessarily hungry. So when you know, your stomach is suddenly like this big and you can only fit a certain amount of food in there, you get full in like that fast. Like you're extremely full extremely quickly. And it was so weird to feel hungry and want to eat more, even though I was completely full. That makes you realize I'm not actually hungry. I just want to eat because it tastes so good. It's like an addiction, you know? I'm not stomach hungry, I'm head hungry. My brain is tricking me into thinking I need more food, when in reality, you're completely full. So you have to get used to that. You have to realize the difference, and VSG kind of forces you to realize that difference. And that was one of the craziest things to me. I'm a foodie forever, you know, like I am never gonna not love food and not love trying new places and eating for fun. Like I know there are people that are like, well, I eat for fuel, not fun. Like, okay, cool, good for you. That's never gonna be me because I totally eat for fun, you know, but you have to understand the difference and you have to be able to control yourself, control that. You still have to try to change that relationship with food to not be like, I'm only gonna use food for fun. You have to decide, I'm not gonna use food as my comfort. I'm not gonna use food to make me feel better. I'm not gonna use food to be my only way of having fun. And that was a mode that I got myself into, as a lot of addicts do. I'm definitely a food addict, and I think with any addiction, it's like that. You know, you do something to feel better, and you have to change that relationship with food. You have to change that or your weight loss journey will not be successful. You know, it's not just physical, it's a mental journey as well. But sorry, my roommates are talking. I don't know if you guys can hear them, but thank you guys so much for watching this video and supporting me. For those of you that have been there with me from the beginning, like I can't thank you guys enough. I love you so much. I made this YouTube channel to be able to reach more people, you know, help more people. That's the whole reason I started this journey and documenting this process, is to help others and bring hope to others. So please let me know what you guys want to hear, whether it's about weight loss in general or questions specific to my surgery. And if you guys feel like following me on Instagram, I will link it below. What are you supposed to say? Subscribe, like and subscribe. I don't know what that really means, but do it because I think that's a good thing.